Welcome to the Disney Club, or if you've been here before, welcome back. Here we watch one or more Disney films every single week, trying to get through every single Disney film that is in existence. It's gonna take forever, but we're gonna give it our best shot. Today, what are we celebrating? You're not Sam.
I'm not Sam.
That's not Sam. Who are you?
I'm Suzanne. I'm your mom.
Oh my gosh, I have a mom. I'm here in California with my family, and so they are the ones joining me for Disney Club this week, and maybe next week. We're going to find out. So what are we watching?
We are watching Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier.
Amazing job. And so because of that, we're getting into like frontier land kind of style going on right now. I mean, this is what I wore when we did Disneyland at home. This was my Frontierland outfit. This is as country as I can get. So we're going to be making some treats that we feel like are in theme. We don't know if they follow the film exactly because I've never seen it. Have you ever seen it?
I don't think so.
So we don't really know what foods are in it. So we're just kind of going off of the theme of Frontierland and the frontier and such. There is a buffet both in Disney World and in Disney Paris that is Davy Crockett themed, and that's mostly just like Southern barbecue and the goodness. So we kind of just took inspiration from that, decided to do what we could. So what we have been making is some ribs. They're in the crock pot. We put some spices on top, like a dry rub, on both sides of course. And we put some barbecue sauce on and rubbed that in, both sides of course. And we put that in the crock pot, and now that has been sitting there on low for quite a few hours.
I would say almost 7.
Almost 7 hours. It's going to be around 8 in total, or maybe 9, depending on how long this takes. So now we're going to get started on dessert, because on video, that's normally how we start. What are we making for dessert?
Oh no, it's like a s'more bake.
It's a s'mores bake.
From Big Thunder.
From Big Thunder Ranch.
Big Thunder Ranch, sorry.
Big Thunder Mountain is the ride.
That's right.
Big Thunder Ranch is the place that no longer exists.
Oh, that was that little restaurant thing.
Where you like Woody would come out and Jesse would come out and they would like
it's
say
near,
hello.
and now it's Star Wars Land.
Now,
Like
yeah.
that area is like the entrance.
Yeah, it got taken over. So that's not there anymore.
Except for, it's not Star Wars Land, is it?
It's Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge.
I mean, or you could call it by the planet. There's a lot of names for it. It's fine. So we're going to get started on that by getting our brownie mix sorted. Of course, we got the oven preheating.
It's already done?
It's already done. It's ready. We're like
the pan's
so
all
on top
sprayed?
of it. The pan's so on top of it. Look what happens.
When mom's around.
When mom's around. We're not dissing Sam. We love Sam.
Of course.
So let's get started with baking. So to save time, we're not going to make brownies from scratch. We are going to be using a mix. Of course, we're using Betty Crocker because she's the best. She knows what she's doing. So we're just going to make it how it says. Put in the pan how it says. Leave it in for however long it says. And then we're going to come back to it at the very end. So this is going to be super easy to do. I mean, tablespoons of water, vegetable oil, a couple eggs. Super simple. And then we'll just finish it off at the very end because you want to eat it right after the whole thing's complete. You'll see. It's fine. You'll see it later.
Shantae, what are you doing now?
I'm cutting the potatoes as thinly as I can. I am not a chef. I'm sure that will be made clear by now with all the videos that have been made, but I'm doing my best.
Nice. Scalloped potatoes are best if they are a little bit thin so they can get sort of crunchy on the edges, I think.
Yeah, crunchy on the edges and like soft on the inside.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So good. Making the sauce for the scalloped potatoes. That doesn't look like a sauce.
Well, first, you get the butter bubbly and you blend in the flour, and then it'll look more saucy once you put in the milk.
That is fair with all of the cheese and goodness.
Yep.
It's all good. Cheesy goodness going in the pot. Ooh. It looks amazing. We got half the potatoes in the pan already, so we're gonna pour half of the sauce down.
And I'm just guessing what happens.
Oh. Cheese lovers content right there. Oh, that's beautiful. Just beautiful. Amazing. Now we repeat this process. Yes. We're going to put some more cheese on top because you can never have enough. Excuse me, get back in there. And that's going to have a nice crisp layer on top. And then when this is done, we're going to pop it in the oven as soon as the brownies are done.
I already can smell it. Both things, the brownies and the cheese.
It's a weird combined smell. I'm
But
not
it's-
gonna lie to you. But both separately smell great.
Yep.
Get
It's
the
ready.
brownies out. Ooh. We make the same sound.
I think that looks good.
I think it looks divine.
And I just put my finger in it.
Yeah, so good job. And here's the thing about brownies. Even if they're slightly underdone, that's the best way they could possibly be.
Okay, fair.
So I'm happy with that. We're going to leave that there. We're going to put the potatoes in. Ooh. This brings me back to hanging out at a barn we used to live by. I mean, it wasn't that close. But where you could get your apples and your pumpkins, and you could get your corn and do this. This brings me back to that.
Nice.
That was a good time. We should go there sometime.
Yes.
Getting the potatoes.
They look good.
Yeah?
Yep. I hope they're good. I hope they're done. We'll see.
Oh,
They look nice.
My, that looks amazing.
The real test is when you poke it with a fork. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah?
I think so.
Now that these are out, we can go get the ribs.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna see how the ribs turned out. I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. It's heavy. Ooh,
that looks
yeah,
good.
baby. That's That's a
awesome.
lot of rib. So we poured half of the barbecue sauce on it before it went in the crock pot. But now we're going to be pouring the rest of it on here. And we're going to paint the rest of the barbecue sauce on both sides. Because apparently that's important. We're going to put them in the broiler so they can get all sticky and delicious. Checking on the ribs. They look amazing. So good. See, I could not do this in my oven. My oven is a lot smaller than yours.
Oh, they smell good too.
Ooh, I'm excited. This little piece right here is from when we were flipping it over and it just fell off. That's how off the bone these are going to be. I'm so excited. As soon as that's done, we get to try this out.
Yay.
Are you excited?
Yes, I'm
very
hungry.
excited to eat the good food. Yay. We're going to try a little bit of the meat.
Yep.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh. Mm-hmm.
You
It's sweet
did
and tangy.
Such a good job. And the thing is, it's always dependent on the barbecue sauce.
Mhm.
And that's just a fact. But for how well it's cooked,
Mm-hmm.
we did a banging job.
Yep.
Boom. We gotta try potatoes too, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's important.
Okay.
I've got a little bit of the potatoes because we already put them on the table. But, ooh, I'm excited. I want to get some potato. I gotta get some of this cheese.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good time. Man, I love scalloped potatoes. So good. So good. Let's eat dinner.
I agree.
And then we will come back to try out the dessert. Yeah. So we got marshmallows on top, of course, jet puffed because that's important. What you doing?
I'm watching the marshmallows, making sure they don't get burnt.
Just sitting on the floor.
Just sit on the floor.
Taking it out. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Oh my goodness gracious me.
That's why you like the American marshmallows.
Yep, because if it was the British one, it would be a goopy mess. Ooh, but this is a contained goopy mess that we are now going to decorate with goodness. Just because we obviously don't have enough chocolate, we're going to add more. Because there's no such thing as too much chocolate, am I right, fellas?
I think you're right.
There we go. Beautiful zebra stripes. What is a s'more without graham crackers? We're going to break them up, put them in. See, when I made these last, I was in the UK, and the UK doesn't have graham crackers. So pretty sure we used digestive biscuits, because that is the closest thing we have. And they're like, take them and break them into sticks and stick them in. And we were like, So I'm pretty sure we took digestive biscuits and tried to break them in half. Which they're not made for that, but we tried. And look at that, they are ready to eat. Let us dig in. We have our dessert all ready and plated up. It looks amazing. I'm so excited. Ding ding.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
It's really good.
Brownies are my favorite dessert.
Mm-hmm.
I love s'mores. I love marshmallows.
It's amazing how broiling the marshmallow, it tastes just like it would if it were like on a fire. Like a campfire. Well, maybe minus the smoky.
There is fire in a broiler.
Well,
So
that's
there's
true.
that.
That's true.
We're going to go finish the film
Mm-hmm.
while we eat this.
Mhm.
Have a good time. And then we will come back and tell you what we thought of the film.
Yeah.
Mother,
Yes.
what did you think of the film?
It was a little bit more fighting and shooting than I'm used to.
A little bit too much violence for your taste.
Yeah. I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I learned a lot.
I mean, I feel like I don't know a lot about Davy Crockett. I mean, now I do. And it made me, even as the film was going on, wanting to look up things like, how many kids did he actually have? Did his wife actually die? Like, what was his life actually like? Where did he die? And it made me interested to know who he actually was, because the only thing I really knew about Davy Crockett is that his character would sometimes show up in Frontierland.
Yep.
And that's literally all I knew about the guy.
We had to actually make sure he was really real.
Yeah, we were like, wait, is Davy Crockett a real person? Like, that's how little I knew about this dude, right?
And I did appreciate the way that I mean, if this is true, that they portrayed him as somebody who really wanted to keep the treaties, you know, that he actually seemed to respect Native Americans, and
he wasn't just a redneck in the woods
Yeah.
being like, this is how
No, I
I
don't
think
know if
things
it's
should be.
true,
I'm just
though.
going to enforce it with violence. He was like, well, I'll become a politician.
right.
Apparently.
But we don't know how accurate it was.
Yeah.
But for such an old movie with a disclaimer at the front,
It is one of those films that on Disney Plus, it does have a disclaimer before the film starts.
there was some good character building. I appreciated there at the very end I don't want to give away too much.
Well, I mean,
But,
if you watch this
yeah.
far, you're going to know there's going to be spoilers on whatever the film is.
yeah, where the Native American that they had
Helped.
joined them at the end, and the other gambler, I never caught their names.
There's a lot
that
of people in this
they,
film.
They end up defending one another and like
Helping each other.
So yeah, I thought that there was some good character building there.
Yeah.
And the friendship between him and his closest friend.
Aye.
But it was choppy. The editing definitely is not what we're used to.
No.
The storyline did not flow. I liked how you described it.
Yeah, like I felt like the storyline was very much the pacing of a video game, in the sense of there's like an overarching storyline. I mean, in this case, it was just the life of this guy. But it really felt like, okay, we're building your way up, and now you fight the boss. Now that story's done. Now we move on to the next one. Felt like chapters in a video game rather than a continuous storyline in a film. But at the same time, it's about a guy's life, about a lot of a guy's life, and that's just kind of how life is. Life isn't just one big continuous storyline.
Yeah.
It's a lot of little things that add into one story. So, I mean, I can understand why it was done like that.
I have to admit, I don't think I fully comprehended. I should have been listening to the songs in between the scenes.
Yeah, same.
that was part of the storyline. I mean, it's not a musical, but basically, like a musical, the song moved the story forward.
It did.
And I didn't know that until about halfway through the film.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait, I should have been listening to
wait
that.
a second, that was context.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not just summing up what just happened. And it was very catchy.
Yes.
That's going to be in my head. Davy Crockett.
King of the Wild
Frontier.
Yes.
I feel like, even though he doesn't show up in Frontierland anymore, I feel like I've gained a new respect as to why he was a character that did show up in the parks. Makes sense why this would be such a treasured character, not just because he's full of folklore and he was a big person and personality already, but also because Disney had made a film about him, and so you can tell that was something Disney cared about and thus wanted to bring into the park.
So were the canoes that you go on still, are those Davy Crockett canoes? I think they might be.
They might be.
The only thing
I
not
don't
on a track
know.
at Disneyland? Or something like that?
I mean, technically,
I don't
Rise
think
of the Resistance isn't on track.
Okay, but I meant like for years and years. That was like the one thing that was like a real.
Because it's an actual canoe.
Yeah.
Because you're actually on a canoe.
I used to like to go on that when I was little.
I've never been on it.
Oh.
Never once. I think partly it scared me.
Oh.
That you're in an actual boat. And that could tip over at any point.
Okay, so can I tell you the fun fact now?
Oh, great. There's a fun fact. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, fun fact.
Fun fact.
So I used to teach at a Christian high school.
Yes.
And one of my students was the grandson of the actor who played Davy Crockett. And it came to me while I was watching the film.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And to be honest with you, when he talked about it, then I was like, I don't know who that is. Because he didn't say my grandfather's Davy Crockett in the movies. He said my grandfather's Fess Parker. And I was like, I don't know who that is.
Now you do.
Now I know.
You should totally contact them and be like, dude, I just watched Davy Crockett. It's your granddad.
Probably not a movie I'd watch again. But for westerns, for a western style movie, I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like compared to like other westerns I used to watch growing up with my dad.
It was definitely interesting. It was educational. Because it wasn't just a story, it was someone who actually existed, so no matter how true or not it was, there are going to be some hints of truth at least. I mean, things like, I didn't fully comprehend the Alamo.
Yeah.
I didn't really fully learn about that. They always say, don't forget the Alamo. I forgot.
I never knew.
I didn't really know. I mean, I guess I could have forgotten. But now I know, and now I can't forget.
Right. And I have to say, if you ever grew up, because of my age, I grew up watching Beverly Hillbillies, and the best friend is the main character in the Beverly Hillbillies, and so it was. I had a little hard time getting over. I know that has nothing to do with the actual storyline, but getting over that he wasn't the guy from the Beverly Hillbillies. I may have never seen him in anything else.
Thank you so much for joining us today in our adventure learning about Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you get the chance to watch it and you can tell us what you learned from it, or if you've seen it before, what you learned from it the first time you watched it. If you would like to join the Disney Club, there is a link to the Facebook group down below, or if you want, you can just keep coming here and we will tell you what the next film is going to be. The film for next week is going to be Lady and the Tramp.
Oh, good.
Which is
nobody gets shot, as far as I remember, in Lady and the Tramp.
No,
or tomahawked.
no threat of being scalped. That does include Lady and the Tramp 2, the sequel, which I remember we had VHS, but we'll get there when we get there. And also The African Lion, which is another nature documentary.
Ooh.
We've been watching a few of those, so that's another one that will be on the list as an option. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a super magical day. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.